Well, if everyone is ready, we'll go ahead and jump back into Obojima, Tales from the Tall Grass. Last time, our party had descended into the depths of the Temple of Shum, the 4-story ziggurat deep below Lake Elior, former hatchery site for the ancient Nakudama Empire that a group of midwives was slowly in the process of renovating, restoring, however you want to describe it, when a large pilgrimage of soon-to-be parents of Nakudama had arrived along the shoreline at this otherwise unsecured site, still teeming with restless spirits, entities yet uncontrolled, and yet unprepared for such a large incursion of expecting mothers. On top of all that, the leader of this group of midwives, Beatri, had disappeared, but 24 hours ago, into the deepest depths of the Temple of Shum. And as you descended downwards, you encountered an ancient entity that remained trapped in what was formerly the royal hatchery chamber of the ancient Nakudama Empire, an entity known as Veraro the Parasite, a massive toad-like Nakudama that attacked you all as you entered the hatchery chamber. He seemed to be speaking out to some controlling spirit, entity, some patron you all did not see or ever encounter, using Beatri and this strange egg found in the hatchery chamber, still alive, in her possession, using her as some sort of lure to more pilgrims to this place, seemingly wanting to use that as a means of bringing them in only to devour them when they arrived. Nevertheless, you dispatched Veraro and opened up the valve system at the depths of the Temple of Shum, allowing movement of fresh water in and out of the ziggurat once again, restoring energies that had remained dormant in this place for hundreds of years. And as you exited now in the waning hours of the afternoon, alongside Beatri, and you notice that the other midwives, including the one you first encountered here at the Temple of Shum, the midwife Zelda, noticed you all exiting just as the sun was beginning to set. And it brought her to her knees and in tears, seeing her friend and colleague and their leader of their group was alive and well. Now, as you stand at the apex of this temple, a calm washes over the space as several of these Nakudama have already given birth along the shoreline. A new generation soon to come into this world. What would you all like to do?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was like,
dying us now, dude.
That's a way to start. Also, you all leveled up to level 4 last time, so Congratulations.
Right.
Would anyone like to share what they chose to do with their level ups? Or you can choose to save it for a later time and surprise
I'm staying
everyone.
mysterious.
All right.
So, I will say that I am looking a little bit more pale than usual after that fight.
Well, being all a little worse for wear, you look over as the midwife Beatrice, still clutching this greenish golden hued egg under her arm, carefully coddling it softly. And in the light, you can see that a few of you have seen Nakudama eggs over the years, but nothing like this. This one seems unique. And for it to be alive and still showing signs of energies within, seemingly for who knows how long, is even more of a miracle. Deep in this otherwise inhospitable place. We should get to the shoreline. It is... Well, I don't know what other dangers are still lurking in the waters. It will take some time to account for what still remains, but it seems that the greatest danger has been all but eradicated from this place. To think that such an ancient evil known as Vararo is still alive in this place is hard to believe. But where there is darkness, there is also hope. As she stares down at this yet unhatched child. I found this in the chamber. I don't know if someone came in recent times and gave birth in that awful place, but this is no ordinary hatchling. This is of the royal line. I can see it. I can see it in the queue, the coloring. To think that such a child might come anew into this world, it gives hope to these old bones. As she begins to walk towards the pier that has been built alongside this otherwise mostly submerged structure in the middle of Lake Elior, you can see that same large vessel that you had come across and was now being piloted swiftly towards the edge of the pier, as that midwife Zelda is at the bow of this ship, and quickly moors it at the end of the pier as she comes rushing up, faster than you've ever seen before, tears still in her eyes, as she reaches out and inspects Beatrice as you all come down towards the edge of the pier. What the fuck are you casting spike growth for?
I'm testing a macro.
Okay. It's like, I'm like, okay. I guess we're doing
her
this.
Eyes around. He's just saying spike growth. Get out of here.
Spike growth right on the pier. As this is going on, what are you all doing? Other than casting spike growth.
I mean, for me, I think I'm gonna go pick up the stuff that I left.
And what stuff was that?
Like my bag and things like that. I left
Okay.
it like somewhere.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what you even left your bag, so okay. You
think it
pick
was
up
the
your
first one.
supplies that you left at the entrance to the ziggurat. I don't know how you did it. And rightly, I don't really care. But thank you all for bringing her back to us. And I apologize for all the trouble I gave you when you arrived here, but nevertheless, thank you very much for what you've done. I thought I'd never see my friend again. You can still see the tears welling up in Zolda's eyes.
Like I told you, I'm gonna handle it. And you doubted it.
You're right. As somebody who deals in new life every day, it seems I've become jaded over the years. And even at my age, I can still learn a lesson. So, thank you, and I apologize. But that being said, we're in the process of putting together what we can as far as a meal. It's getting quite late. I doubt you'd want to be traveling, and you all look like you could use a bit of mending. So why don't you come across the shore, and we'll see that she gets patched up as swiftly as possible. As you can see, her and another midwife are moving things around on not the small boat, but the medium-sized vessel that they've brought over, making space for the four of you, 4 new passengers coming in, including Beatrice. It takes a few moments to get everything prepared, but quickly she unmoors the small supply vessel, and you begin heading back towards the shore. As you go closer, you can see the 4 or so, or I forget how many structures did you make, Mipsy? I want to say was it 5 or 6?
Yeah, roughly around that.
Okay. About 5 or 6 of these sand structures, these temporary medical facilities, if you will, for the pilgrims to this location. And as you go closer, you can see that there are midwives still rushing in and out of these makeshift structures of sand, bringing in clean water that they've purified and clean rags for those Nakudama that have already gone through the full process of laying their young hatchlings. You can see that there are large wash basins of roughly room temperature water, varying degrees of temperature depending on the proposed gender of the child. You would know, Mipsy, that, children in general, depending on male or female, generally require slightly different temperatures at birth. Having studied a bit of medicine across the island of Obojima, and that it's a subtle yet long practiced art that these Nakudama midwives are showing on full display here. You can also see that there's a large table that's been set up that you didn't see when you had left for the ziggurat, and they're in the process of putting together a large communal meal of what looks like some sort of vegetable stew. A simple yet hearty meal for those who have gone through quite an ordeal to get here, and an even further ordeal upon arrival. yourselves included. As you come across the shore, the ship is moored to a post that's secured in the sand. And you can see that Zolda is assisting Beatri and taking the young hatchling egg to the other wash basins to make sure that it's in good condition and cleaned and well maintained among the other young hatchlings. You can see that one of the large basins just inside one of the closer structures, there's probably 7 or 8 Nakudama eggs that have already been brought into this world. By dawn, there may be another 3 or 4 more at least. There's about half a dozen or so midwives that are preparing a meal, slowly handing those out to those in the various makeshift structures. As this is going on, what are you all doing?
I get in line to eat.
Yeah, I like that idea.
The midwives don't hesitate as they hear what you all have done for them, and quickly begin ladling up a hearty portion of this vegetable stew. It smells delightful, all things considered, this makeshift kitchen. They've got this large pot suspended over an open pit fire that is slowly cooking the stew in batches. It's got a strong aromatic scent. And you look inside, it's a mixture of carrots, seaweed, something that appears to be similar to some sort of corn or some other root vegetables. It definitely has a strong herbaceous flavor to it. And given everything that you've gone through and the intensity and the cold nature of some of those former hatchery pools, it is a welcome change in temperature.
As this is going on, I will be... Oh, never mind. I cannot make a new talisman. Never mind. I won't be doing that.
I believe this is yours, that you... I don't know of another group that would be able to make such a thing. And you watch as Beatri walks up to you, Mipsy, and hands you back the talisman that was presented to her via the small familiar that Mirage had descended down into the depths of the ziggurat with.
Oh, this... I do not recognize it.
Either way, child, know that we are eternally grateful for what you have done, you and your companions. I likely would not have survived to see this sunset were it not for the 3 of you. And neither would that youngling that now sits in the pool with the others. Truly a miracle in and of itself. Know that we are eternally grateful for what you have done.
Now, how much do you guys know about making potions?
I have dabbled in my years. What is it you are looking to create?
will whisper it to you because I want to keep this a secret.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just do it through roll 20.
Okay. As he's doing that, Mirage and Axel, what are you doing? As the meals are handed out in full, as the midwives take their time to eat as well, you can see that the mood has improved dramatically from what you had arrived to but a few hours before.
I'm just gonna take my bowl and I'm just gonna go sit down at the pier and just chill, take a breath.
I think I'm gonna take my food, and I'm gonna find a place where maybe I can bring out like my map and see the route to where we're supposed to go, and maybe write some notes about what happened and all that we saw.
Okay. Mirage, give me a survival check as you make notes on your map. Okay. You make sketches in the northwestern corner of Lake Elior of the uppermost portion of the Temple of Shum, the pyramid-like ziggurat, giving a generalized location to this otherwise unmarked location as a significant point of interest in this part of the island of Obojima. Additionally, you make note of the route that you had taken down through the Gift of Shiratashi. And this is a fairly well-documented area, but even now you still make notes of this location, especially the proximity of this temple that I would say a handful of people are aware of historically, but very few know of its exact location, just that it's this general vicinity of the lake. But now you've made a much better note of its point of interest to the world for any others that might be passing by and needing a point of reference in this part of the island.
Neat.
Mipsy, it's a pretty lengthy conversation. You can see that the midwife, she knows a handful of potion-making recipes. Those of mostly utility and a few oddball ones here and there. I will send you a list at a later time of some different recipes that you can be aware of. That I don't know if there's one specifically for what you're looking for as you discuss it with the midwife Beatrice, but we can certainly, I just need to take a closer look at the list. And I'll send you the potion making rules and mechanics here shortly as well. So you just have I think I have them somewhere listed in the Discord. But
Yeah, it's in the Discord. I know.
Okay.
I've seen that.
I'll send you like a trimmed down version, just kind of a shorthand note card version of it, though. Axel, as you sit on the end of the pier, you can see the gentle to and fro of the waves. What you also see is that there's a more evident abundance of spirits traveling through the water now than you saw when you arrived previously. Signs that life has taken a turn for the better as you see this increase in minor spirits within this region. Definitely something you've noticed in areas of abundant life and travel and general happiness. That when you go into areas of where any of those factors are lacking, there's usually a evident lack of minor spirits and other essential energies that kind of categorize that space. And it reminds you of the thing that you long for most. The remembrance of that inspiring entertainment. The festival songs dance around in your mind. You remember happier times. And a small smile creeps across your face as you remember a bit more of that night. And as you recall that your destination is, of course, one of the largest cities on the island of Obojima, Yatamon, and you're mostly home for the most part. Some thoughts and potential research points when you arrive in the city, things you want to look into cross your mind. Recalling that Yatamon is a perfect place to do that, as it is home to one of the largest libraries in the entire island, ran and operated by the Guild of Archaeologists, Historians, and Archivists, or AHA. And, of course, your off and on employers there at the libraries as well. The whole reason among reasons you had gone up to Okiri Village in the first place. But you finish the hearty vegetable stew as the sun sets on the western horizon, and the stars begin to spread across the sky. Again, you get that sense of peace as you look up and you can see small pockets of, at first, what looks like clouds in the dark sky, scattered between stars and celestial bodies. But you can see that these clouds are moving contrary to the movement of the wind, and you quickly realize that it's more of those giant sky jellyfish moving across, moving westward towards the coastal region further west in the island. But a good sign and a good omen, nevertheless. Is there anything else you all would like to do? Anything else you would like to discuss with the midwives or any of the people here? As you can see, everyone is kind of bunking down for the evening, unable to really travel in these circumstances, at least not initially.
Nope. I think I'm right. I mean, the only thing, I'm sure Mimsy and Mirage probably agrees. We should probably crash, obviously, with the timing. But other than that, I have nothing.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Well, I wanna look up at what I pick up on the temple.
What
It
are you
was like
trying
a
to...
spell.
What are you... you want to look at the scroll that you picked up.
Mm. Like maybe like a little stealthy, like take a peek.
you're able to sit aside for a moment and take a closer look at what you had found within the old reading material buried within the first level of the ziggurat. If I recall, it was a scroll of daylight.
Yeah, it was something about light. I remember.
Yes, I believe it was a scroll of daylight, but let me double check. I'm fairly certain that's what it was. Yes, it was a scroll of daylight. So, using the scroll, you can cast the daylight spell. At least once.
Okay, how do I see what that is?
If you go into D&D Beyond, in the search bar, you can just search daylight, and it should pull up the spell. And it's...
Daylight?
yeah, it's called daylight.
It doesn't pop anything. Or I don't see it.
So if you search daylight, it should be the first
Yeah.
thing that comes up in the player's handbook under spells. It's a 3rd level spell. I'll just read it off so you know what it is. It's a 3rd level conjuration spell. For the duration, sunlight spreads from a point within range and fills a 60-foot radius sphere. The sunlight's area is bright light and sheds dim light for an additional 60 feet. Alternatively, you can cast the spell on an object that isn't being worn or carried, causing the sunlight to fill a 60-foot emanation or originating from the object. Okay, yeah, and Mipsy just posted it as well, so... But if there's not anything else that you all need to do this evening, you set up your bedrolls and you bunk down beneath the stars. It is a calm, albeit a bit cool night on the coast of Lake Elior, one of the largest inland lakes on the island of Obojima. But nevertheless, with full stomachs, you take your rest. And for most of the night, you sleep soundly. As the midwives take shifts and watching the encampment. Mirage and Axel, you sleep soundly throughout the night. Mipsy, you sleep soundly until the early morning when you begin to stir. You begin to stir in your bed. You feel hot. Like an acute fever comes over you for a short period of time. In what would otherwise be a dreamless sleep, you find yourself staring in your thoughts at a large horrifying entity of some kind, an amorphous form, darkish red, orangish yellow eyes. You can't make out quite what this entity is or was, but it looms over you in a haunting nature. What do you do?
I'll take a little walk and just splash some water on my face.
You wake up in a cold sweat. As this darkened, amorphous entity wakes you from an otherwise dreamless sleep. As you walk to the edge of the shore and splash the cool water in your face, you look at your shoulder, just underneath your fabric tunic, and you feel sore and like tender flesh at this location as the water splashes against your chin. And even though it's a almost chilly sensation everywhere else, it feels hot and searing in this one small spot just above your collarbone. And as you look into the reflection of the stars and your own form against the glass-like surface of the lake water, you see a darkened, discolored spot right atop your shoulder, just above your collarbone, otherwise hidden by your tunic, but you can definitely see that there is some sort of scar here now that you do not recognize until this moment. And you take a bit of the cold lake water and splash it against it, and it doesn't hurt. It only soothes it for a moment, and you touch it with the end of your fingertips, and you wince back as you do. It is tender and uncomfortable. Not enough to make you double over in pain, but enough to make you second guess what this is. As you recall the confrontation with Veraro, you didn't ask much of the midwives of what this entity was, but you can definitely see that whatever occurred during that fight has left a scar on your body. A scar you're not quite sure of at this point in time.
Huh. Well, I'll hide it from the party and I'll try to get some more rest.
You walk back to your bedroll, having taken a breath and allowing yourself to calm after the strange dreams you've had. And the rest of the early morning, you sleep soundly until the sun begins to rise on the eastern horizon, casting a gold amber light across the surface of the lake and the surrounding area. As warm sunlight spreads across this place, you can see the midwives have already begun to prepare in the early morning. Some of the expecting mothers are already showing signs that this may be the day they bring new hatchlings into the world. As you all stir in the early morning, a new day has begun. And you can all take a long rest if you haven't already.
Hooray.
Reset all your previous features and bring all your new features online as you begin your first day at level 4, mechanically speaking. For some of you, that means an expansion of prior abilities. For others, new, interesting abilities. But anyway, as the sun rises on a new day, you are about a day's travel from the edge of Yatamon. What would you all like to do?
think it's time to hit that dusty trail.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me as well.
Just as you're about to leave, Beatrice approaches you all. Again, I must thank you all for what you have done for our people. But I must ask, if you would not mind, please keep the discovery of this royal hatchling, if you would not mind, try not to share this as much as you can. There are those in this world that might wish this youngling harm or try to use them for their own means. I would like this young one to not have to be exposed to that in the onset of their life. If you understand.
No problem with me.
I guess no problem.
We greatly appreciate it. You can see that Zelda and many of the other midwives are already rushing back and forth, gathering up all the supplies they can. But she does pause for just a moment and nods to you all, wishing you a voiceless but celebratory goodbye. I hope we meet again, friends, in less stressful times, and that I might be able to share good news of this new generation of young Nakudama. But until that day, I wish you the best of luck wherever your travels might take you. And thank you again so much for what you've done for me and our people here.
You are welcome.
She softly bows towards you all before turning and heading back towards the group, assisting with the day's responsibilities, leaving the three of you to head wherever you choose to go, which I assume is further south towards the coastal edge of Obojima and the large metropolitan city of Yatamon. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. You head westward at first, around the outer edge of the sort of oblong shape of Lake Eliorb, then heading due south through sort of loose forested areas on the western edge of the lake. The pyramid-like structure of the Temple of Shum slowly fading from view as you head due south towards the coast, the southern coast, that is. If I can get somebody to roll me a d20, please.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Never mind.
All right. Give me just one moment here.
Redemption. Finally.
Until you stealth a gun.
heading along the fairly well-traveled route in this space through the heart of the Gift of Shiratashi, down towards the southwestern coast of the island of Obojima. A route you've encountered many times, Axel. You come across a large willow tree. Its large canopy spreading out along this space, hanging down in all directions around its canopy and its massive trunk that's nearly the size of a small K-truck in width. And as you approach this large tree, not unlike the one that you first came into this world beneath, you see a interesting sight, one that you weren't expecting, but one that you recognize both immediately and inherently, or instinctually is the word I'm thinking of, that you recognize instinctually. This is a Dara glyph. A glyph that you also recognize, Mipsy, as a red Dara, but a bit different than those that you've seen. A bit different than the more uniquely patterned one that you found above your own birth tree. This one is more circular, almost like the print of a thumb on the trunk of this tree. And it looks fairly fresh. What do you all do?
I mean, I guess I can examine this. Like, how recent has this been here?
Give me either an investigation or I'd also allow a nature check in this instance.
Oh, well, we'll go with investigation.
Okay. This is definitely a Dara glyph. It is ovular, with various rings, almost like the rings of a tree, or more reminiscent of a thumbprint. And you do recognize that this is a death glyph, left behind by a Dara in the twilight of their lifespan. And you feel a sort of resonance of this glyph as you approach the trunk of this tree. The both of you do.
Well, I'll let a small bow to it and look at the party.
I'm gonna go between the boys because I don't think I know what it is, and I'm just gonna be like, "What is that?"
You've never seen one of these in person, Mirage. You've heard of them. You know that these glyphs can be left oftentimes by as I stated, a Dara in the twilight moments of their life, usually left behind to give some sort of starting point to a new Dara that are often born beneath such large oak trees, willows. At the base of these trees, they're often left as sort of a record, if you will, of one's past life. For the newborn Dara, born at the base of these large trees, fully formed, but with the understanding of an infant, as you innately understand, Mipsy, as well as you, Axel, as you can recall that moment in your life as well, coming into being below trees of your own in various parts of this island. This whole process, the age of the Dara that we are in now on Obojima, is unique and not fully understood at this time. Many members of AHA are still to this day trying to research why, how this process of life and death and rebirth, if you can call it rebirth, but the sharing of one's memories to another generation through these glyphs. And not necessarily always at the parting of life and death, but sometimes left by as warnings, markers to other Dara who come along through these spaces, an innate connection to nature and the spiritual realm between this world and the other side. Axel and Mipsy, as you approach this glyph, you see brief flashes of an elderly-looking blue Dara, very thin and gaunt, probably 70, 80, maybe even pushing 90 years old. A long, gray, straggly beard as he presses his hand up against the trunk of this willow tree.
May your first moments in this world be joyous. Enjoy your time as I did. Learn everything that comes along. Take nothing for granted, child. Every day is a gift in this world.
As the memory vanishes, Axel and Mipsy, you both receive a point of inspiration.
All right.
Yay.
And Mirage, you receive advantage on your next history check to recall, as you get brief flashes of the same sort of memories, but a bit more broken than your two companions. But on your next history check, whatever that might be of, you get advantage on that check.
Okay.
As the memory fades and you give your respects to the last moments of this individual below this willow tree, you continue your journey southwards towards Yatamon. As the time frame crosses midday and into the early afternoon, is there anything you all would like to do along this journey? Or would you like to continue this path towards your final destination?
I say we move forward.
I agree.
Very well. It is late into the afternoon, almost into sunset, as you come towards the slowly inclining hill that crests upwards and then slowly back down again. But at the apex of this hillside, a hillside you've seen many times, this view, Axel, of this city, the largest city on the island of Obojima. Nearly 10,000 residents in this one location of the island. The first age city of Yatamon comes into view.
Oh, wow. I've never seen a place like this.
Give me just one moment here. Near the southern coast of the Gift of Shiratase lies the largest city in all of Obojima, Yatamon. It is a relic of the First Age, a city that has existed before all written records, and is now home to around 10,000 people, built on a hillside overlooking the southern cliff faces that draw down into the sea. Yatamon is a city of tall houses, narrow alleyways, steep streets, rows of shops, and twisting staircases. Yatamon is known to be a bustling city full of interesting sights and delicious smells, where the unique technology of the First Age, such as bicycles, K-trucks, and vending machines, can be found in abundance. Because of its reputation as a hub of trade where everything is happening, young people tend to flock to Yatamon to join one of the factions, learn skills and crafts from the residents, masters, and tradesmen, or simply to be in the thick of it all and soak in the vibrance of this magical city. Despite Yatamon being the most populous city in Obojima, it is also a place of great mystery. The magic of the First Age that keeps its millennia-old structures and artifacts in pristine condition is still unknown. The city is full of odd occurrences, unique enchantments, and peculiar spirits, which make the city as strange as one can find on the island. You enter into the hub of this densely packed area. Mirage, you've heard of Yatamon, as many people have, even if they have not visited the city itself. Mipsy, I believe this is your first time here at Yatamon. Axel, this is simply another homecoming to you, as you welcome yourself back to the place you first arrived in not long after you came into this world. Turn that down just a hair. But Axel, as this is your primary city of residence, I'll point out a few locations of import. Yatamon is a hub of trade. There is shops in abundance here, with it being one of the largest populous cities on the island of Obojima. If it can be found on the island, it can be found here. This is also one of the largest centers for various factions across the island. All the major witch covens have groupings and locations here in the city of Yatamon. It's also the site of the second largest base of operations for the Guild of Archivists, Archaeologists, and Historians, or AHA, as you know quite well, Axel, as you've worked alongside these individuals. The largest library resides here in Yatamon, where many of the records and research data pooled together by the various groups across the island of Obojima all has come and been collected here. As for the Courier Brigade, the largest centralized office of the Courier Brigade, including the head of the Courier Brigade herself, resides here in Yatamon. As Mirage, you recall the piece of, or the parcel that you were, or letter you were expected to deliver to a Jenny of Jenny's General Goods here in Yatamon, still resting comfortably in your mail satchel at your hip. The market itself, as you recall, Axel, I'm trying to find that information. You recall as the... Where is it? Shoot, I lost my information. I apologize.
No worries.
I'll find it in a moment. But some of the other points of interest, of course, if you're looking for a cheap, convenient, and discreet place to rest your head, there is a location known as the Beehive, a sprawling wall of capsule rooms that one can rent for a pittance by the hour or by the day when one needs to rest their head or simply vanish for a few hours. Another major drawing point to the city of Yatamon is the Happy Joy Cake Bakery, a local delicacy of this region. There's also Lula's Spirit Diner and Gambling Hall for those looking for a bit of spice in their life. Another major attraction for those looking for more unique fare in the city of Yatamon is the entity known as the Bridge Cat, a massive feline that has remained asleep below the largest stone bridge in the center of the city near the market square. Occasionally, the cat will roll to one side or the other, and this is viewed as either a sign of good luck or bad luck, depending on the time of year. There's also Dappa's Bicycle Alley, known to be a purveyor of various motor vehicles, K-trucks, and of course bicycles. Actually, you're quite familiar with this area as you've done quite a bit of freelance work and mechanical fixes for various patrons in this particular part of the city. If you're looking for a more robust fare when it comes to food in the city of Yatamon, there's of course Gojo's Ramen Bucket, a potent broth teeming with flavor and warmth that even the most picky of palates cannot object to. And if you're looking for something a bit more... What's up?
I love the ramen bucket growing up.
And for those looking for more hearty libations, there's of course Himitsu's Arcane Izakaya, run by the spirit Himitsu, and guaranteed to warm both the spirit and the body. And for those looking for more of an occult flair, there's the location known as the Gap, a space known for a thin space between this world and the spirit realm, where a large number of the spirit residents of the city of Yatamon go back and forth between this world and the other side. And then, of course, for those researchers as well as travelers to the city looking to research the ancient history of Obojima, and of course Yatamon itself is the location known as the Ancient Subway, former underground travel tunnels that at this time are all but caved in, but many members of the Guild of Aha are still trying to excavate these locations and discover where these tunnels might lead to across the island of Obojima. But with that, as you come into the market, the largest market here in the city of Yatamon, there are vendors and stalls of all kinds spread about. The smells of sweet fare, as well as savory dishes scattered about in all directions. It is almost overwhelming, the amount of different options, as well as the sheer volume of first age technology. You see motorbikes cruising about in all directions, bicycles, vending machines across every wall in every direction, the largest concentration of vending machines you've seen ever for any of you, as well as various street lamps that you look up and at first you see that they are dormant for the most part, but as you stare closely, you can see quiet, nearly asleep spirits collected in the base of a lot of these street lamps. As you know, Axel, this being your predominant home here on the island of Obojima, at least your sort of bungalow, your home away from home when you aren't traveling across the island, you know that something about this place, there's an innate magic in Yatamon that keeps a large number of spirits drawn to this location for some reason. It is a phenomenon that many researchers of AHA have tried to ascertain for decades now with varying degrees of success, but all seem to agree that this location has some sort of innate magic about it that keeps this city alive, and pristine, even though it has been in this condition for hundreds of years. Even before the Empire of the Nakudama, before the rise of the humans, the elves, and now the age of the Dara, Yatamon has remained relatively the same. Winding streets, steep hillsides, first age technology abound in all directions. And as you come into the marketplace, you find yourself stopping for a moment as you almost step into the rail line of the trolley system, as you hear the ringing bells of this car, and you look overhead and there's a wire transfer of energy overhead as this conveyance system moves along tracks unlike anything you've seen anywhere else across the island of Obojima, this metropolitan sort of area. And on top of the cart itself, you see what looks like a pelican calling out to the citizens as it slowly becomes to a halt just on the edge of the market. Market Square! Market Square! Stopping at Market Square! As you notice that this is no ordinary pelican. This is some sort of spirit. A spirit that not only operates this trolley, but energizes it, directs it, and organizes those coming to and fro on this seemingly free public transportation system, the likes of which you've never seen anywhere else on Obojima. And with all this stimulation around you, what would you all like to do?
Axel, is this normal in the city?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do people forget that they're in a market square?
I mean, it depends where you're coming from. There's plenty of people that remember where they are at half the time in this city.
Axel, you would know that this is just every other day, if not every day in the market square. This is actually a fairly tame day by comparison.
This is just Tuesday.
Oh, I see.
But is
So
this...
Axel,
Go ahead. Sorry.
would you know where Jenny's general store might be situated?
Stop, or do I know that?
Give me a history check, and you do have advantage.
God.
True.
No, I have advantage.
Well,
But I don't do the history. Oh, does it count? Because he's making the history check. not
yes,
me,
he is
yeah.
making history. Ooh.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know shit.
The name rings a bell, but you're not
Right.
100% sure exactly where it is. It's not like a very prominent name, but you know of a Jenny. You're like, Jenny. But you can't remember exactly where it was within the city. This is a fairly dense, not an overly large part of the island, but it is extremely dense here. Some of these alleyways are tight, where there are businesses on all sides, wall to wall to wall, for quite a ways in these sort of snaking back alleys and tall buildings, 3, 4, 5 stories tall, tightly knitted together with residences on top of businesses, and you can't recall exactly where Jenny's general store might be.
Well, it was worth the
Um.
try. I'll keep a look out for the store
Okay.
if I can see it. If not, I will ask around, but for the second, I will see if I bump into it first.
Okay. Give me a perception check, Mirage. It's hard to say. As I stated before, this is a dense city. Not overly huge space-wise, but just dense. There is so much going on and so much stimulation. It is hard to pinpoint one thing from another. But you can definitely see that there are a number of people shopping in this square, and that if somebody knew a Jenny, they'd likely be here above any other place if they knew of a particular store of sorts.
Alden's gonna yell out,
Oh my god. Oh.
Does anyone know Jenny from the block?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Mipsy, give me a persuasion check. Okay. A couple people
That's
give
actually
you
good
like
for
a
me.
side eye of like, what in the fucking tourists. But one person that does come to your request is a young girl, a young elvish girl, probably early preteens, in modest clothes. She has a satchel over her shoulder, and floating around her shoulders and hovering around her in particular is this very furry, spherical-looking spirit with the only prominent feature of this spirit being a large snout that protrudes out of this otherwise just ball of brownish, like tan fur. And you can see it's like almost like a pig snout, and it's kind of like just snorting the air, just searching around. And she approaches you all. She has very defined elvish features, and you can see across just under her chin and down her neck are the very evident, if the ears didn't already give it away, the elvish markings that are common to Obojima elves. You can see just under her chin, kind of going down below the hem of her dress. She has this sort of grayish blue dress, a sort of a thin belt kind of holding it around the waist, and this satchel slung over her shoulder.
Can I help you? You look like you're new here. Are you looking for something?
We're looking for Jenny from the block.
I don't know about a Jenny, but, wait, now that I think about it, there might be. I mean, there's, a Jennifer's Goods. It's a little bit deeper past the opposite end of the market square. You remember that one? You remember that one, Chaffee?
And you hear the snorting sound of this little spirit floating around her. And it flutters around the three of you, getting like all up in your business as it's sniffing around you, around your waist, everything about you. The one, as it sniffs around you, Mipsy, initially, it just kind of goes around and then goes around you, Axel, going, under your shoulder, over the back of your neck, between your legs, and then heading over towards you, Mirage, kind of pacing you for an even longer period of time before returning back to rest on the young girl's shoulder.
I'm Imelda, by the way. Nice to meet you. First time here in Yatamon?
Me personally, yes.
Yeah, me too. After what happened about that spirit, I wanna see if everything in me it's okay and everything that's in me it's still there.
Yeah, give me a perception check. As far as you can tell, doesn't look like it got into any of your. It was just incredibly curious about the three of you, especially you, Mirage. Give me 1 sec, guys. Sorry, before we continue.
Sure.
Something's not working with... can't see what's going on here for some reason. Okay, it seems to be working. For some reason, my chat in OBS is not showing up, which is weird. Just want to test something here. Yeah, it's not showing up in OBS, which is weird. Hold on. Docs, chat. Oh, no, I turned it off. Now I want it back on. Okay, that's really weird. I'm gonna have to fix that later. It doesn't seem to be causing any problems, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Anyway, right. You don't seem to see anything missing at a cursory glance, Mirage.
Okay.
But she looks at the three of you.
Well, if you need a little tour guide, I can certainly help. For a nominal fee, of course. My old man used to tell me all the time, don't do anything for free. At least when you're good at it.
And how do we know you're good?
I'm the best. I've lived here my whole life. I know this market like the back of my hand. See? 3 little dots, and what looks like a little smiley face.
And she shows you the back of her hand, and it's got the elvish markings, the sort of birthmarks that all Obojiman elves are born with.
Right.
It's your
But you
choice.
also provided us information that she's this way, and I will point in the direction that she was like talking about going down like the street.
Yeah, if it was going to be in
If you
that
were
area,
good.
that's where the most of the general stores are at.
Mm.
But it really depends on what you're looking for. There's a couple hidden little nooks and crannies all over the city.
And Axel, as she says that, that kind of resonates with your thoughts on Yatamon in general, that even though the bulk of the shopping areas are in this area, but there are others scattered all over the city depending on what particular trade you're looking for. Obviously, it would be more advantageous for spell related and potion making to be closer to areas with higher concentrations of witch covens and things of that nature. Obviously, the bike repair and things of that nature are closer to the bicycle alley and that sort of region and district of the city. But this is just the general pocket of trade within the city of Yatamon.
It's up to y'all. Take it or leave it.
Kind of looking at Axel.
Me too. I was about to.
I went okay for a minute. What were you guys doing? What'd you get into?
The little girl, she inspected us and she's offering to give us a tour, to be your guide through the city
For money.
for money,
much?
of course.
How
She's
much?
saying she's the best.
Do you
Well,
ask
we
her how
never
much?
We got a price.
Can I like, yeah, obviously I'm skeptical. Clearly. Can I do in a I guess would it be insight? I guess maybe.
Sure. She seems like she's on the up and up. As far as you can tell. She's quite young. She doesn't seem to have... She doesn't give you the air of like a, you know, a street urchin trying to, you know, fleece you.
All right, kid, how much you talking?
Well, since the majority of you are new, I'll give you the first-timer deal. 5 silver petals. And if I help you find this particular place that you're looking for, this Jenny's General Store, I get an extra bonus of an extra 5 silver, so we'll call it 1 gold piece. Just to make a nice round number.
What's your favorite place to eat in the city?
Come on. You gotta love a good bucket of ramen.
All right. This kid's all right.
For the money, you can't beat it. What can I say?
Yeah, so I'm down. If you guys are.
I mean, if you guys are down, I'm down, sure.
Okay. Well, if everyone
I
is...
just want to have like a
go ahead.
lookout to her spirit. Like I don't like that spirit. Not because I don't trust it. I just didn't like it.
Oh, don't mind him. He's harmless. He just likes to sniff everything he can. I mean, look at him. He's a big bundle of fur and a nose. Isn't that right, Chaffee? See? Harmless.
Yeah.
But if everyone is in agreement, you follow the young elvish girl and her spirit companion around the market square. She shows you a number of shops, some selling various potion ingredients, some selling weapons, armor, selling parts and pieces for first age tech, a lot of which you've seen, Axel, a lot of which this is where you've sourced parts and replacement pieces for K-trucks, motorbikes, and a handful of other miscellaneous odds and ends that you're fairly familiar with. Heading down one of these spiraling alleyways into another wider stretch on the eastern side of the market square, you come out into a more open sort of stack row of buildings. There are no entrances on this side except for one large building. One large building you are very familiar with, Axel. This is the Library of Aha, the second largest and the at least the Yatamon headquarters for the Guild of Archivists, Historians, and Archaeologists. It is a large plaster building, but it has timber exteriors and roof that kind of curve down. You can see that at some point these large timbers were either bent or curved. You don't know how or why, but it's made this sort of beautiful roof structure that's been stained and has held up to the test of time with this clay tile roof. And you can see various researchers coming in and out of the building pretty regularly, as is pretty common that you've seen in the past.
If you're into all those old dusty tomes and scrolls and things of that nature, any information you might need, that's the place to go. Just be careful. the head librarian's not always the most forthcoming with information. And if you walk out of there by mistake with one of his books, don't say I didn't warn you.
And as she says that, actually, you recall this particular individual is, in fact, your primary contact with the Guild of Aha, one Mortimus Fids. A sort of persnickety old human man that kind of fits the description of way she described that particular individual. Nothing inherently unkind about them, but very protective of the information within the library of Aha. She then begins to guide you through some more winding back alleyways, coming out to another space. You can see that there's, well, first you smell, and then you see that there is a row of shops here, and the pungent scent of boiling herbs and other ingredients here is near overwhelming at times. It like wafts out into the alleyway. As you can see, there are rows and rows and rows of what looks like flower shops at first, is like rows of different hanging gardens and things of that nature. But they're not so much for floral decoration, but just exterior growing pots hanging off the side of some of them just straight up tacked to the plaster walls of these buildings and the wood structures of these buildings to make extra space for growing various flora for potion making along this particular alleyway.
I'll kind of put my head in there.
Give me a. Well, depending on, are you trying to make just a cursory glance, or are you trying to like do a more in-depth? Just a glance. Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check. You see the usual suspects. You definitely smell a lot of the usual suspects. There are the first shop you come into is just this overpowering scent of like this mint herb of some kind. You're uncertain what everything else around it, that just one scent just overpowers everything. And then as you walk through, walk deeper down into this space, you see a number of different ingredients rode up in some of these hanging growing boxes. Some of them like root vegetables, others various floral scents and things of that nature. It's hard to distinguish just because the longer you stay in there, the more of a headache it begins to give you for some of these ingredients. You do see a regional common ingredient that you do sometimes see in fields. It almost looks like a horizontal sunflower, and it's got a very reminiscent pinwheel, like four corner leaf structure, and a very prominent, almost like golf ball center pit in the middle. You recognize this particular flower as a wind bloom, commonly used in more utility-based potion making. You also see a rather gruesome-looking hanging display ingredient, one you don't see out in the wild too often. It is a rodent of sorts. There's like about half a dozen of them hanging up by their tails, all of them dispatched at this point, but They have like a pink belly, a pink snout, and pink, basically fleshy underbelly areas. And then the back is almost like a mossy fur, looking more reminiscent of like ground cover than an actual fur. A very contrasty, greenish color to this otherwise purplish pink underbelly. You know these as Venus fly rats. Common rodents in the fields, but also often their parts and pieces are used for potion making for more combat and sometimes more whimsical oddball potions, but mostly for combat.
And the sunflowers?
Those ones are more utility-based ingredients.
You know what? Let's get some rats.
Okay. You step up to the vendor as your companions are kind of looking around at all the various stalls lining this space.
What can I do for you? What have you been eating?
I'll just point up at the rats.
Oh,
How
yeah,
much?
caught those fresh just the other day. You gotta let them dry a little bit more, because if you cut them open right now, it stinks something awful. But if you need one, they're 8 silver apiece.
How many does she have?
There's half a dozen.
Half a dozen, 8 silver. You know what? I'll buy the lot.
I'll tell you what, for the lot, I'll give you 1 for free. So you can just give me 8 for the first 5, and I'll just throw in the other one. I appreciate your business.
I'll pay 4 gold.
She bags them up in a sort of like cloth satchel and ties it off to kind of smother the smell.
Make sure to be using those as quickly as you can, or dry them out, otherwise they start to stink something fierce.
Oh, drying them out won't be an issue.
She takes the silver from you and hands you over the sack of dead rats.
Yep.
As this is going on, Axel and Mirage, what are you doing?
I'm looking intrigued that Mimsy's buying dead rats.
Oh. You're watching me buying dead rats?
Yeah.
Oh. Hi.
I mean, you don't see that every day. Well, at least I don't.
Neither do I.
A first time.
But, you know, I can make something fun with this.
Fun like
Fun.
what?
Okay.
Fun and, you know, something may go boom. Like that enemy we
Long-
fought would have been nice to have. I'll look at the
In
potion
Humphrey, yeah.
seller.
Okay.
Question.
Hey?
What happens if I mix these rats with boomberries?
Oh. Boomberry? It's hard to say, but give me just a moment. I got to consult my old recipes here. If you want to know odd specifics of combinations of things, that'd be something you want to talk to the covens about. The Fishhead Coven in particular has a wide variety of them lists of ingredients and their various combinations.
So, Mipsy, you know that, or at least from your past experiences, each potion is usually made up of 3 ingredients. They don't all have to be the same. They can be, but they don't all have to be the same. But it's a 3-ingredient combination, mechanically speaking. So are you adding 2 boomberries, or are you adding 2 rats
2
and a boomberry? 2 boomberries and a rat? Okay.
Boomberry in there.
Okay, give me just a moment here. I need to do some math. So the rats. Okay. That would result. Let me find the boomberry. Where was it? Okay, so that's total of 23, I think. Yes. Yeah, 23. Okay, so I need to find... Let's see. Combat. 23. Okay. He skips through his potion list, just odds and ends, things of this nature.
Last time I've been experimenting with those. Made a potion of tiny bubbles.
So he shows you his notes. Potion of tiny bubbles. Drinking this pink, bitter-tasting potion causes hundreds of small, iridescent bubbles to emerge from your nose and mouth and fill a 20-foot cube that you can see within 30 feet of you. If the bubbles are left untouched, they float in place, remaining there for 1 hour. When a creature enters a space occupied by the bubbles for the first time on a turn, it must make a DC 13 dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, a cacophony of popping erupts as the bubbles burst, dealing 1d6 thunder damage to all creatures inside the cube. The sound of bubbles popping can be heard from a mile away. So the bubbles stay in that location for 1 hour, and every round that the creature is in that space, they take 1d6 thunder damage.
Oh.
So there's your boomberries. But I'll send you this later in Discord. But it creates a potion of tiny bubbles.
Was that explained while I was there too?
I would imagine you overheard at least part of it. You can see his
just gonna be like
more detailed
with
notes,
rats.
but yeah, he writes potion of tiny bubbles, makes big square of bubbles that basically explode on contact with anything that enters the space.
I write that down and also draw a big bubble with this, with an arrow going up. For bubble lift, having this with someone inside.
Oh.
Oh boy.
But I will.
I don't
I
think
will
we
make
want to
him.
roll that many dice.
It's 1d6 per round that they remain
Yeah.
within the space with the bubbles.
With the bubbles.
Yeah.
Chop them with bubble lift. Lasts an hour.
It does last an hour.
Cool.
All right.
Why, thank you.
Of course.
Before Mipsy leaves the stand, I want to get close and I mean, I just want to ask, like, maybe did you buy something fun?
I'll just hold up the bag. Just a half a dozen squeakers.
I'm just gonna look at Mipsy and I'm gonna be like, okay, and I'm gonna glance over to the merchant, and I'm just gonna ask him like, hey, by any chance, do you know where Jenny's general store might be located in this place, in this town?
Hey. Give me a persuasion check, Mirage.
I know of it, Jennifer. If I recall, he's deeper into the northern side of the city, closer to the Fishhead Coven's headquarters.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Does it sound like in my head? Is it the same place that the girl pointed, or is it a different store?
She just said it was in a general direction. She said there's a number of different shops. She wasn't very clear on whether or not she was pointing that particular shop.
Okay.
Did you find everything you needed?
She kind of pops up beside your at your hip, Mirage.
Yeah, we did. My friend here got a bunch of rats.
That's
No, not rats. They're squeakers.
Oh, sorry, squeakers. Sorry, rats, squeaker, tomato.
That's delightful. Anyway, we're still looking for that shop, right?
Yes. Have you found it?
I'm fairly certain of where it is. I would imagine it's probably closer to the Covens. It's on the way.
Yeah,
We're
that's-
heading northward at this point in time.
Yeah. Sure, let's go.
She starts heading northward through the city after you do kind of a U-turn through the alleys, back the other way, up another side street. And here you can smell, and you know this street very well, Axel, because you can smell it immediately. The scent of a strong pork broth as you see this large sort of twisty building that definitely should not be structurally sound, but somehow it's still standing up as it kind of hangs back and forth in this strange sort of angle adjacent to some of the other buildings. Definitely not going plumb with the adjacent buildings, but nevertheless, you recognize this immediately as the ramen bucket.
Oh, there's my baby.
And the scent, considering like the strong, pungent scent of all the potion ingredients previously, this is a welcome surprise to walk down this street and find yourself near the ramen bucket.
Well, I'm taking a detour. I don't know about anybody else.
As Axel makes the comment to you all, you can immediately smell it as well. The scent of strong pork broth and the robust scent of pasta water and noodles just wafting through the street. And there is quite a crowd here already. It is late afternoon, early evening.
Still here, bitch.
Never skip ramen day.
Somebody just sent a message. I don't know why that wasn't quieted, but thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, it was, that was huge, Shiny. Never skip ramen day. Anyway, Thank you for that reset, my friend. I appreciate it.
You got it, brother.
I was like, I thought I turned the notifications off. But nevertheless, yes, you can smell, and there's quite a crowd. It's creeping up on dinner time here as the sun is beginning to head over the western horizon here in Yatamon. As you can see, some of the taller street lamps are already beginning to dimly begin to shine, and now you can see that there are little fire spirits in the base of a lot of these glass lanterns and paper lanterns hung across the streets. And actually, you remember that there's really no like Yatamon utilities or any type of like there's barely a loose sense of government in this city, if any. It's really just like the different factions sort of in a loose agreement with each other, and somehow it works. But you know that these spirits sort of just congregate here, and they like the idea of sort of presenting themselves as bright as possible in these lanterns and these street lights every evening as the sun begins to set. And nobody really complains about it because they are useful. But you can see that there are many of these lanterns scattered about the ramen bucket, sort of centralizing and drawing your attention to it as the sun is beginning to set. What would you all like to do?
I'm just following the party.
Well, I don't know what time does the general store closes. But I do be down for some ramen.
Well, we can get it to go on the way there and then head, as long as you don't mind, eat and run.
And you can see that there are people getting their food and then walking away. That not all of them. The ramen bucket itself, and you remember this, Axel, is very small. Like, this alleyway is tight. There's a handful of like random tables and chairs around, but those are entirely occupied. Most people are just getting their food and leaving. Either going home and eating it there or, eating it along the way. You can see most of them are in, they're not really in like permanent dishware. It's mostly in these
Buckets.
Yeah, basically a little paper bucket. Like a KFC bucket, but for ramen.
Oh, yeah.
I was literally thinking of KFC buckets.
Just not as big. But still a healthy amount of food. Enough that even a large individual like yourself, Axel, could feel more than full.
Yeah, the ramen bucket's meant to eat and grab, so we're good. So let's just get our food and we can get moving.
Well, I didn't know that. That sounds nice.
It takes
I
about
agree.
10, 15 minutes. The line is pretty substantial, but by the time you get to the front, it is now like double or triple the length. So you got here just in time. As you get to the front, on up, on up, on up! And you can see there are spirits spread about this entire like tight kitchen, and they are just like wafting in and out of view, like corporeal to incorporeal, as they scoop up handfuls of noodles. And you can see that there is a large Dara man in the back. This large, like greasy apron, just scooping up broth into these paper buckets. Followed by just this like controlled chaos of spirits dumping noodles and chopped vegetables chashu pork and all sorts of spices, pickled radish on top. And you don't really order, you just take what you're given in this situation. How many orders? How many orders? How many orders? As he turns and looks right at you, Axel, at the front of the line.
5 orders.
5 orders, 5 orders, coming up, 5 orders! As you can see, all these spirits are just in unison, just moving in this radial, like, series of chaotic movements. Some of the broth not quite making it into the cup, but still, as he seals it up, the noodles, you can just feel the steam coming off of these things as he bags them up in this paper satchel for you all. These sort of makeshift hanging paper bags, 5 orders of bucket o ramen that he slides across. That'll be 1 gold, 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 gold, 1 silver.
I got this.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next up, next up, next up. Keep the line moving, keep the line moving. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Just this chaotic sort of movement of food, and it just seems like a normal everyday occurrence. Almost like to some that are new to this location, it seems almost rude the way he calls out, but to others, it's just like, whatever. Keep it moving.
A Tuesday.
A Tuesday, exactly.
Just Tuesday.
But nevertheless, as you walk down the street, you pull out your chopsticks and open up the lid of this bucket o ramen, and the scent and the wafting steam just nails you in the face. And it is delightful. Savory, salty, just everything you would expect. Just a fistful of noodles crammed into these buckets with a thick, luscious broth, green onions scattered across with a healthy dose of chashu pork and a little bit of pickled radish on top to break up the overly fatty flavors. There are definitely stories of better ramen across the island of Obojima, but as far as the most well-known in the city of Yatamon, this is definitely it. Most definitely a staple of this region and this city in particular. As you can see people heading in all directions away from the ramen shop and just this chorus of slurping noodles. You watch as Imelda, you can just hear in the background as she kind of guides you from forward, just... and you can see the little, her spirit companion just, you don't see a mouth, but you definitely see noodles disappearing into this little spherical fur ball floating above the cup of noodle.
Oh, yeah, that hits the spot. Anyway, we're almost there.
As you walk through the alleyway, enjoying your bucket of ramen, enjoying every little flavor profile, filling your bellies, warming you up, as the temperature begins to chill for the evening as you enter the fall months here in Obojima. You can see that you're coming to a number of areas that you see outside some of these random stalls and shops kind of scattered more infrequently than some of the denser parts of the market further south. But still, every so often, you see homes with makeshift businesses in the first level. All around this space, you can see that every so often you see an emblem of a different sort. Some look like a raven, other the head of a fish, and different things of that nature. Axel and Mirage, you recognize these emblems. These are markers of the various witch covens across the island of Obojima. Sort of badges, if you will, sort of indicators of what affiliation that these various shop owners might have. You see another one with a large pointed hat, an overly large pointed hat. You recognize this as the Tall Hat Coven. But as you head further north, you come into a rather sparse alleyway where there's not a lot of these makeshift stalls and shops. Mostly residential district with the occasional, sort of... Mostly at this point, it's what little space in between these buildings you can see there are just crammed full of now unattended vending machines. And you've seen a lot of these scattered about in just random places. As you turn a corner, if there's a space, there's probably a vending machine there. From food, drinks, items, potions, weapons, you name it, it's probably in a vending machine here of some kind. But nevertheless, Imelda slurps up the last of her broth. Surprisingly healthy appetite for a young girl of her size. Probably not much bigger than you are, Mipsy. And she woofed down that ramen like it was going out of style.
Yep, I think this is it if I had to guess.
And then pointing out, you see there is a sign coming up in the distance. You see it's got like a floral sort of ring around it. And sure enough, the sign states, Jenny's General Goods.
We made it.
It's about...
This is Jenny from the block.
This is Jenny
It's Jenny from the block.
It's about maybe 100 yards now from your current position as she turns and faces you all.
See, I told you I'd get you there. So about that extra agreement.
Deal's a deal, kid. There you go.
I like your style. And thank you for the meal as well. You're a true gentleman.
You're welcome.
Of course, of course. If you ever need me again in the future, I am happy to oblige. But thank you so much. You all are absolutely been a pleasure to work with, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Later.
She waves you all and does a quick bow. The little spirit kind of circling around and then also sort of going low as she begins to take off in the other direction from where you all are heading.
I want to do another checkup of my stuff.
Okay.
I don't trust that.
I don't trust her.
I don't care. I think it's fine.
Mirage, give me an investigation check. As you're walking towards Jenny's General Goods, you're looking through your satchel of letters, and all the ones that you remember are there, are still bound up, any parcels, things of that nature. But as you come to the entrance to Jenny's General Goods, the one letter, the one bit of mail that you would expect to be in there that you intended to deliver, you can't not seem to find.
I knew it.
And you search through your satchel at least 3, 4, 5 times, and it is simply not there. You are missing the letter that you were intending to deliver. Just to be clear, I have been rolling this whole time.
I know. Guys, she stole from me.
Oh, did she?
She did. Come on.
We
And I
don't
want
know
to
if she
start-
stole. We don't know if she stole.
She might. I,
mean-
don't know. Well, she, of course. Yeah. I love the letter.
Did you open your bag anywhere when we stopped at the ramen place? Did you open your bag or anything?
No, I didn't because you paid, so I never opened it. It went that big man, I swear. That pig sniffed me a little bit too much.
And for you, Mirage, it's insulting enough to lose something of your own, but as a courier, it is especially insulting to have the charge of the mail you were expecting to deliver to be stolen from you. That bothers you even more than anything else.
I swear we need to find that kid again.
But as you all enter... I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Don't worry about it.
Well, go ahead and say what you're going to say, and then I'll follow up.
I was gonna say, well, I guess we have to find this person a gun.
And we will visit that at a later time, as that may take a little bit longer than we have allotted for the rest of the session. So I think that's a good stopping point. As you find yourselves lighter than you expected upon arrival at your final destination here at Yatamon. At least your final destination here in Yatamon, Mirage. We will pick up next time as you look to find the missing letter that you intended to deliver here at Jenny's General Goods.